supposed to lead me where it is I'm supposed to go. And I thought I knew before, but then I found myself all spun around. Sit alone there in silence, I listen for a sound. Won't you take my hand, lead me to the answers that I seek. Show me what's in store, won't you let me take a little peek. I'll try to find my way, try to find my way in the dark. Please make it bright, please grow the light created from this spark. You are supposed to show me everything I need to know, and you are supposed to lead me where it is I'm supposed to go. And I thought I knew before, but then I found myself all spun around. I sit alone here in silence, I listen for a sound. I'll sit and wait, anticipate illumination. Welcome in, welcome in. It is Tuesday at 7 o'clock and time for the live stream. I am very happy to see you. And for Lainey and all my grandchildren, but Lainey specifically today, I love you. Lainey, my granddaughter, found Grandpa on YouTube today, and I think that that's beautiful. And so I said, if you watch at 7 o'clock, I will say hello. Boy, that's a big truck. Can you hear that? You bet you can hear that. I spent a week building a whole wall over the door over here so it was less loud, and then the first thing that happens is a giant truck goes by on the road and you can hear it. Crazy, crazy. So what you heard leading in was a part of the next single, which is a song called Spun Around. Spun Around is a song I wrote quite some time ago. It is, as I was going through a 12-step program, I am a recovering alcoholic, and as I was struggling early on, I was writing about the issues that I was dealing with, and I wrote that one. It's called Spun Around, and it existed for a very long time just as voice and guitar, and the incredible musicians that are playing with me right now helped me make it into a full band version, and it sounds phenomenal. And we finally were able to get it recorded, and just this week, literally 2 days ago, I got the last of it added together, and we put a mix together. And sometimes it takes a long time to mix things, and I mixed it, and I put it in a place where I listen back to things, and I make corrections, and I write little notes, and I go back and I fix things, and I listen to it. I have a couple of notes, but not many, and and that's rare. So I'm pretty happy with it. So anyhow, that's that shouldn't be long, and I'm excited about that.
Tonight, originally there was supposed to be a guest, a gentleman by the name of Matt Shukin, and he called me about 2 weeks ago and said that he had an opportunity for a gig tonight, and could we reschedule? And of course, and it's a good thing because on Sunday, it's at about the middle of the day I started feeling really terrible, and I felt so bad that my wife decided to test me for COVID, and I have COVID. So 2 weeks ago, Jack and my son and my wife both had COVID, and I managed to escape it. I isolated. Luckily I have a whole separate building that I don't dislike being in, and we wiped everything down and wore masks, and I stayed away from them, and I did cancel a show, and because I thought that I had been exposed, and I didn't want to expose a whole crowd of people, and after 3 or 4 days I never got sick, and had been isolating, and I never got sick. So they got better, I never got sick, everything was fine, went back out in the world, and then on Sunday I got sick, and I called around and I found out that, I think I figured out where it came from, but that's the way it goes. It's kind of going around out there. I'm trying not to pass it along, so I'll be staying in for a couple more days. Symptoms have kind of gone away and all that, so probably not in the best voice, but I can sing, and I think you guys can take bets on whether or not I'll get all the way through the song without coughing, but I think it'll be fine. And I really wanted to play. I've been working on this song for a couple weeks, and I was planning on playing it last night at the open mic at Preservation, and of course I couldn't go, so I was kind of bummed out about that. But I'm gonna play it tonight. It's although I do feel like how they make COVID makes you kind of like loopy or dumb or whatever they call it. I have COVID brain. I feel like I have COVID brain. I feel dumb, so dumber than normal. Although I don't think I'm dumb, but I feel like I'm just a little bit out of it. But I'm trying real hard to keep it together, and so yeah. So let's see. Announcements. What we are. We got the album side of the week. We have Dumb Joke of the Day today. We have this new original, and our guest has rescheduled for next month. And I said hi to Lainey, so hi Lainey. So I think you probably go to bed soon, but you and Leo, I'm gonna play this new song in a second, and this new song that is inspired by. It's kind of a long story. So on Monday nights, I go to a place called Preservation in Geneva, and I started doing that in late summer. I think it was probably about, very late August or early September. You could technically call it fall, I guess. And I met the guy that runs the open mic there is a guy named Aaron Kelly, and Aaron is a very very talented songwriter, singer-songwriter, and a tremendous human being. And he was in here in December talking about songwriting, and as a guest, and he played a few songs, and he inspired me to invite many guests this year to come in and talk about songwriting, because it was such a wonderful experience. And what I've realized is his inspiration to focus on playing my original music has been very helpful, and perhaps I can pay it forward. And in many ways. So I've heard Aaron play his originals, 2 or 3 songs at a time at the open mic, and then I've gone and heard him play a set. I think 2 or 3 times here or there in the few months, either with his girlfriend Demi or by himself, and it's delightful. But I have yet to see the Aaron Kelly Band, which I've heard great things about. And so in late December, I saw that there was something that came out like at Fitzgerald's, Aaron Kelly, blah blah blah, and I thought it was Aaron Kelly Band, and I very quickly, I thought they're free tickets, and it was with this Jenny Bienemann, and I'd seen her name a million times. We're friends on like friend musicians on Facebook or whatever, but I just over the years had seen her name, and she I believe is friends with people that I've known for many years, and so anyway, I thought he was doing. I thought it was a split bill with his band, and I was just confused. I didn't understand what I was what I was signing up to go see, and but it didn't matter. I'm going, and then quickly I realized, well, it's not what I thought, but I'm going anyway. It doesn't matter. Fitzgerald's is a great place. I know that Aaron's talented, and these other people are talented, and so who cares? I'm gonna go. And what I found out was that Jenny Bienemann had started writing. I may get details of this not exactly 100% correct, but I believe this is how it goes. She started as a creative process at some point. I don't know if it's before the pandemic or during the pandemic or at some point, daily or with some routine, writing a haiku, which I didn't even really understand how a haiku worked or whatever. I think it's 5, 7, 5 syllables, short poem, as a way to force yourself or to just be creative, or whether it was daily or whatever. And if I understand it right, a few people that she knew were friends said, "Hey, I wrote a song based on one of your haikus," and she was posting these regularly. And then they decided to do like a show at a small place. Again, I may have this completely wrong, but I think this is how it went. And they did a show, and everybody had fun. And then they did another show, and now they sell out Fitzgerald's quarterly. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Well, I completely oblivious to all this because until recently I had given up on music and was kind of checking out because I was frustrated and these young people that I've met have inspired me to check back in. And so I went down there, and I had heard this song that Aaron was playing that night, and I didn't realize that he had based it on this haiku that he had read of Jenny's. And I knew that he had written it about his relationship with Demi, and I had heard the song, and so it turned out to be this wonderful evening where Jenny gets up and she reads the haiku, she explains about the artist. The artist comes out, plays with a house band, which is amazingly talented people. They do the song, that artist moves on, a new artist comes out. She comes out, she's very charming, witty, funny, tells you another story about the haiku. Sometimes they do something on their own. Anyway, it was immensely entertaining and just enjoyable through and through. And so, well worth it was free to get in, so well worth the price of admission. But of course, I contributed to the tip jar and all that, and so a few days had gone by, and I looked up her stuff and just started reading through some of these haikus, and I thought, well, this is interesting, and I'm reading and this is inspiring, and some things that are seemingly, I wouldn't say obvious, but obvious to write about, or things that I can write about. That's inspiring. This is inspiring. And then, but the was a part of me that was like, oh, I could write about this. I could write about that. And then some time had gone by, and I read this one, and I still don't know if I even understand it. And oh shoot, I wrote it down and I didn't bring it in here. I do have it on my phone though, so because I want to make sure that I read it right, because this is the part that I find interesting to me, because it's the one that stuck with me, and I didn't really even necessarily, like, sometimes it's sort of, I don't know if obvious is the right word. I don't know if that's insulting. I don't want to be insulting, but things are, but this one, to me, I found, again, I'm not sure if I even understand it. But what had happened was, it was intriguing. I found myself intrigued, and it triggered a line of thought that took me down a path that I was then pulling on this string, and it didn't leave me, and I kept coming back to it, and it's not really, the words that I wrote aren't exactly the words that she has written. It's taken from the beginning of it, but where it took me was this place where, when I was a kid, I played organized sports, and most specifically, I played hockey very seriously. But, at some point when I was pretty young, financially things got pretty tough for us, and hockey's a pretty expensive sport, but my mother was determined not to take that away from me for financial sake. And she made great sacrifice with time and money to let me play hockey for as long as she could. And a lot of time was spent between the age of 8, 9, 10, 8 and 12, those 4 years, with my mother and I in the car driving all over Hell's Half Acre to get me to a hockey game. Oftentimes I was riding with other parents or with, coaches or other people, because she couldn't get me there. But a lot of time it was just her and I. And my mother did not like to drive. She didn't like to drive at night. My mother would take 3 lefts to avoid a right turn if she could, because she was afraid to turn left, because crossing traffic somehow meant that she was going to get in an accident for sure. And she couldn't, if she was going to get lost, there was no, for you younger people, there was no internet, there was no GPS. So there was a 9-year-old kid that could read a map and get my mother places that she couldn't get herself. I learned how to change a tire. I learned how to do lots of stuff because my mom was pretty afraid. But on the other hand, she also had these pearls of wisdom. And there were these moments where I learned all of these things in these conversations my mother and I had. And my kids would tell you, for those of you who don't know, I have 6 children. My kids would tell you that then, later on, much time spent in the car with my children, same sort of situation would be me passing information to them while I'm driving places, whether it be sports or any other place. And so during the course of writing this song, I found myself combining these two experiences, the time with my mother and all these things that I learned from her, and trying to distill it down to the key moments of things that I learned from my mom, and then the key moments of things that I tried to pass on to my kids during these time and these things that I found to be most important to me. This stuff that I think is crucial. So it was kind of a combination of the two. Now, what I took from the haiku, again, it just sort of triggered a thing, and it took me to a place. I don't know if it has anything to do with what Ms. Bienemann was thinking. I don't know if it matters. But her haiku goes like this. The moon's co-workers hold hands against the darkness. Nothing gets past them. So again, that one struck me, and it took me to this place. So what I found was, that I was sort of like this moment where my mother was trying to give me some kind of advice. So this is what I ended up coming with. Excuse me. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but I think we can do it. The moon and the stars hold hands against the darkness. With a smile she softly began to explain. You can try and you try, but they'll never get another one past them. It never is what it is. It never really seems to be what it seems to be. My mother said to me, just be a man of your word. Give people the benefit of the doubt every once in a while. My mother said to me, God gave you one mouth and 2 ears. So be sure, listen more than you speak. But you damn well better work twice as hard. Against the moon and the stars, holding hands against the darkness. With a smile she softly began to explain. You can try and you try, but you never get another one past them. It never is what it is, and it never really seems to be what it seems to be. We run around, ain't yet seen or found. In life holds a simple truth. Be true to your heart and true to your soul. Oh, heartache, emptiness are sure gonna find you. My mother said to me, never give up on yourself. There'll be a time when you gotta stand up and fight. When it's time to fight, give it all you got. 'cause all bets are off. You can fight harder than you ever thought, against the moon and the stars, holding hands against the darkness. With the right kind of smile, she thoughtfully began to explain. You can try and you try, but you never get another one past them. It never is what it is. It never really seems to be. The moon and the stars holding hands against the darkness. The right kind of smile, she softly began to explain. You can try and you try, but you never get another one past them. It never is what it is. It never really seems to be what it seems to be. Don't know if that's any good. Don't know if that's corny. It's just what came out. I asked a few of my friends if that's garbage. Can't tell. Can't tell. Maybe it's junky. I don't know. So, that's what I wrote. Reminds me of my mom. Hence the words. So, album side of the week. Today, I was listening to this today. And for those of us of a certain age, when this movie came out, we wanted to form a band and go to Minnesota and play at the First Avenue Club. That would be people of my age. This came out in 1984, and I would have been 15. So, great movie. Prince had limited success. He was critically acclaimed in his first couple records because he played everything, but also controversial for obvious reasons. And then 1999 was the first time I knew of him. It was a double record, and there's a couple great songs on there. And then this came out, and side one is Let's Go Crazy, Take Me With You, The Beautiful Ones, Computer Blue, Darling Nikki. And then even at the end of side one, there's even like reverse tracking, like there's like reverse tracking thing on there, and it's pretty cool. It's a great side of music, and Let's Go Crazy has obviously been played a zillion times. I recommend it. Give it a spin sometime as a side, if you can. Again, the idea here is even if you don't have a record player, take those songs, put them in a playlist by themselves, and listen to them as a group. And then take a minute and understand that the coolest thing that I realized about playing records again is the fact that every few songs you have to think about it again. And the thing about Spotify and cloud services, it thinks about it for you. And while that can be cool, you do discover some new things. The fact that you have to stay engaged with your music is a good thing. And so there's some positives in that. So that's this week's album side of the week. So I think that I don't have I didn't write. I told you I'm feeling kind of COVID dumb, COVID cloud, whatever. I don't have a listing of things in front of me. We had had a really hard, heavy couple weeks of stuff. I know that we have a few things coming up. You can always look at melmusic.com. Gene does a great job of keeping on top of things. Or Facebook. There's tons of stuff, whether it be my Facebook page, you can, or MeL Muzic on Facebook, or Instagram, or any of those other things. Because again, social media stuff has been great. So, I think for today, I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Dumb joke of the day, I know, but something before I get to dumb joke of the day, because dumb joke of the day is the end. We're just going to go to dumb joke of the day. So, dumb joke of the day. We did actually I actually mounted the mailbox this week, as you can see. It's hung to the wall, but I don't know. We'll have to wait till the postal inspector shows up, and the postal inspector, Aaron Kelly. So, this week's dumb joke of the day comes to us from Alfred Aimley from Amesboro, Arkansas. And it says, how do you make a waterbed more bouncy? I don't know. How do you make a waterbed more bouncy? Well, it's funny you ask. You add spring water. I did remember to bring Fred in. So, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you to Aaron Kelly for inspiring. Aaron Kelly for getting me to go to Fitzgerald's to listen to all of those songs by all of those great artists that were inspired by Jenny Bienemann. If you have the chance, look up Jenny Bienemann on Instagram and Facebook. Buy her book. It's delightful. I spent 45 minutes reading through all kinds of haiku, and she's also an amazingly talented singer. Funny as hell. I hope I get to meet her. And I believe I will be seeing her this weekend. Aaron and a number of other artists are playing at, I believe that she is as well, at the Roxy Theater in, let's check. I have the information. I did buy tickets quite some time ago, though. They are playing the Americana Music Festival. It's not. It just tells me. I can't find it. The Americana Music Festival at the Roxy. I believe that's in Plainfield. Sorry. I wasn't prepared to promote somebody else's gig currently. But it should be cool. So you should go. You should look it up. You could probably look up Aaron Kelly or Jenny Bienemann or, I don't know. I think Colleen Wilde is playing. I think all of these people that I become fans of in the last several months are all playing at the same thing. So it was a no-brainer for me. Simple Remedy, I think they're playing. So any one of those bands, I bet you could find out they're playing Saturday the 8th of February. Anyways, have a wonderful day. In the words of the great Ray Rayner, bye, 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 bye. Wait, where's my mouse? Where is it? It's gone. I can't find it. I can't leave until I find it. There it is. Okay, bye, bye, bye.